Many senior senators who I admire have said something to me to the effect of, no matter how deep your disagreements are with people or how frequent your disagreements are with people, you have to find something to agree with every senator on. And I think that's good advice to recognize our shared humanity and building relationships and crafting good policy. And with that said, I want to note that for me, today is one of those days. Senator Groney and I frequently and strongly disagree, but we get along, and I think we're friendly, and there's common ground today as we look at tax policy through a populist lens. This same type of thread and this common ground popped up last year when we were looking at incentives, and now it's back up as we talk about cutting taxes for corporations and the rich. So I say, let's lean into that. Let's lean into that together, colleagues. Let's say no more giveaways, no more incentives for those who need it the least. And what we need instead is more targeted tax relief and rebuilding our safety net for the people in Nebraska who are most vulnerable, the working Nebraska families, all the way across our entire state. And honestly, if some of these folks would join up with progressives on some of this big ticket tax stuff, it would be very powerful and fun and awesome and impactful. And it would also be firmly rooted in our populist roots and our independent roots here in Nebraska. And no one would be able to stop us, including a billionaire governor. It's about uniting everyday people around common interests, not the interests of the powerful. Senator Flood made a point that I think kind of made my point about how cities in northeastern Nebraska sometimes have to compete with South Dakota, which has a corporate tax rate of 0. You know why South Dakota has a corporate tax rate of 0? Because they're doing the same thing we're doing. It's a race to the bottom. Instead of saying, look at our great policies, look at our great social safety net, look at the great culture we have in our state, we're just saying, look at how cheap it is to live here. And that's not a great parameter to compete on. You don't hear the majority, a ton of young people being super stoked to move to South Dakota or super stoked to move to Nebraska. Sure, once they get there, they love it, and it's a beautiful state, and there's beautiful things to do and wonderful communities and people, but we give up asking how to make our state the best state, and instead we just keep chipping away at our culture while we keep trying to make it the cheapest state. There are things we can do to tangibly improve Nebraskans' quality of life without costing anything and without giving a tax giveaway to corporations. We cannot keep cutting taxes at the expense of services and programs. At some point, we're going to have to raise revenue. And I think we need to be raising that from the wealthy and the corporations, not from the middle class and the workers of Nebraska, while we tell wealthy and the corporations that if they move here, they'll get a tax cut. Taxes aren't even why companies like ConAgra left Nebraska. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. Companies want young talent isn't here, so companies leave. Young people want decent jobs and to be treated with respect at work, but they're not, so they leave Nebraska for other jobs. It's just a cycle that keeps perpetuating itself. The lack of support and political will to advocate for better workplace policies like paid family leave, equal pay, flexible schedules makes it really hard for workers, particularly those in poverty or those who are single parents, to get ahead. And a lot of the corporations that benefit from tax cuts like these don't do anything to give these benefits to their workers. Instead, there are real tangible things that we can do to keep workers here. On my next time on the mic, I can go into some of those things. And realizing I'm about out of time, I'll yield it back. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hunt.